If you've been watching my recent episodes and you see the title of this video, you're probably thinking, what the hell? Oh boy. Here we go. Oh, we're all racing together, damn it. Welcome everyone to episode 5. And in case you don't know, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Now, at the end of episode 4, I'd commented that I was feeling better at the end of that ride than I was at the big ride I did on episode 2. The format I'm using for this 10-day block is one big ride, the next day do a very small ride. Big ride, then a very small ride. Technically, I'm not doing a lot of mileage in this ride, but it is a Zwift race. And again, technically, it's 3 Zwift races. I was in the mindset that I'm not feeling that bad, so let me just test myself a little bit. I figured if things got really bad, I could just bag everything and just go to just an easy spin and just talk about something. What I wanted to talk about was what's the best diet to have. But I think I'll talk about that in one of the next 2 episodes. What I will talk about is how my body is doing in these 3 races, particularly after the 4 days of riding that I've already had, where 2 of those days were tough or suffering. Now, we have a bunch of new people watching this video, and so I've got to add that I am also 69 and that I've been subject to atrial fibrillation for the last 9 years. I'm hoping to be an example to those with AFib that, possibly with lifestyle changes, you can still do many of the things that you want to do. If I'm racing bicycles, there's probably a lot of stuff that you can do. You've probably noticed on the screen that I've been getting dropped. There's 78 people in here, and I'm now in 52nd position. Yes, I'm totally feeling the previous 4 days, but I'm hoping that my body kind of warms up, which it tends to do in these kind of races. So what are these kind of races? These are mini races. There are 3 races that happen within every 20 minutes. The ones I really like are the 4 races where they happen every 15 minutes. That means the races are shorter. Along with needing this old body to be warmed up in the upper end, this had the most climbing of the 3 races. I'm going to jump to the last half mile, where it happens to be the last half mile of climbing. I'm in a 5-man chase group, and our placings range from 45 to 49. I see one rider up ahead, and I make my bid to try and catch him. I'm hoping that the others may start chasing, but that they let up. So I'm giving everything I have at this point to try and catch him. As I get closer, I'm metering my effort just a little bit. I'm concerned that those that are behind me are all of a sudden going to catch me and then just pass me like I'm standing still. Right now, the nearest guy's about 3 seconds behind me, so now I'm concerned about the guy in front of me. I'm trying for a lot of power to get past him, but I can't even do 350. In my category, I finished 14th out of 24, not the top half. On to race number 2. I had about 3.5 minutes of easy spinning before the second one started. This also was 5+ miles, but there was a lot less climbing. In fact, it was almost like a crit. I figured all I had to do was just ride wheels, but as you can see, I'm falling back. Like the other race, there were over 70 people in this one, and now I'm in the back half, but I have no idea where I am with respect to my category. It used to be with the old categorization system, we were color-coded, and you can see what category you're in and what the next person that was ahead of you, behind you, that type of thing. But now, I can't tell by the graphics on the right what category those people that are around me are in. Similar to the first race, I found a group I can hang with, and I'm around 55th place. While my legs are killing me, I'm able to survive. Pretty much I stay in this position until the very end. Jumping to the last half mile, I moved up to 50th place. Remember last time, I was 48th place that I finished, 14th in my category. I'm trying to stand on this guy's wheel so he can drag me up to the other person so I can jump them at the end, if I do have a jump. There's a 5-second gap to the guy behind us, so now it's just the 3 of us. For whatever reason, my screen recording dies out. As it turns out, I beat one guy but not the other. This time I finished 49th and still 14th out of this time 21 in my category. On to race 3. This, as you will see, turned out to be an interesting race for me. This is one of my favorite courses. It is a very tough course. Not as much climbing as in the first one, much more climbing than in the second one. We are stretched out and we're starting to see splits, but because of how we started, I know that the group I'm with are my category. And if I can stick with them, then I'll have a chance to finish in the top half of my category. I seriously thought before this race that I wouldn't have the legs to even finish this race. And here I am, I'm starting to leapfrog. At least I'm looking to leapfrog. With the splits established, at least on my end, of the 87 people we now have in this race, I'm in around 60th place. While I love the GoPro 11, the battery doesn't last more than 40 minutes. And so for whatever reason after it dies out, I decide to change it while I'm on the bike. It takes me about a minute and a half to get everything situated. I still stay connected to the group, but I'm toward the back end now. And we're heading into the climbs. And I find myself toward the back of the group. Again, I don't know why I decided to change my battery, but I did. Finally, it comes back on, and now I am chasing up a climb. In all my rushing, the last thing I'm looking at is my feather power-up. Get over the top, and now I've got a gap. And I gotta tell you, the thought does go through my head. You know, I've done a couple of races. This is your 5th day of riding. Nothing wrong with dropping out and saving it for the last few days. But I don't. I essentially put my head down and I just chase. I'm trying to get to the rest of my category if they're still in a group. The group that was behind me is now basically chasing on my wheel, so I get to pull them along. I pass a couple riders, I start leapfrogging from them and go after the next person, actually the next couple of riders. Right now there's a gap behind me again of about 3 seconds, and I'm catching up to that group, and I think that's my main group. Unless he's jumped away, there should be a rider there with a red jersey, and I think I see him. Yep, right there. This is my group. I don't know where I got the legs to do that, but I'm glad I was able to do it. Now we're heading back into the climb, so I'm trying to rest up a little bit. I see somebody that wants to get away, and I'm just working my way up to him just in case. Now, I'm starting to jump away from him. Maybe I can get on to the next group of people. My leapfrogging was working before. Let's see if it'll work again. I'm doing a lot of super tucking. I don't have a lot of energy to spare, so I'm getting rest where I can. Because of my leapfrogging attempt, we are lined out. I can't continually keep up this pressure. I can only do it in spurts. I also have to be careful not to get countered, almost like what I did here. Well, I tried a couple more times. I just couldn't get away from these guys. So now, let's jump to the last 0.4 miles. First, I am making the assumption that everybody in my group is either in my or a lower category. Next, I'm watching for anybody that tries to do an early breakaway. Third, I'm watching those riders that are about 3 seconds ahead of us. That's a leapfrog situation. And lastly, I'm looking for when I can jump away, since I'm not much of a sprinter. Those two up ahead are making me nervous, but I decide to get in back of the gray jersey guy, stay on his wheel, and have him pull us up. With 0.2 miles to go, my opportunity to jump away early is starting to go. I now have to turn into a sprinter. I go to hit the arrow power up and I miss. Damn, I hate when that happens. Well, I gotta stand and go for it. The red jersey guy in front is hitting orange numbers. I have never hit orange numbers. I'm still going for it. I am dying. I'm on the edge. I pass him. And now I gotta worry about the gray jersey guy coming in behind me, coming around, and he does not. I finished 46 out of 87, which is a better percentage compared to the last two races, but I also finished 7th out of 22 in my category. Considering everything, I am stoked about that. All right, I have 2 days left in which to ride 177 miles to meet my 9,000 mile for the year goal. I can do one long day, but can I do 2 long days in a row? Time will tell. Stay tuned and we'll find out. All right, you know the drill. Comment, like, subscribe, and share this. The Cycling Greek.